Shoeless Joe Jackson. I wonder if his autograph would be worth as much if it hadn't been for the Kevin Costner movie in the early 90s. We will never know. What else?
If you build America's talk, they will come. There's a company selling Klingon blood wine for Valentine's Day.
Oh, Klingon blood wine for Valentine's Day. So buy a bottle for that special someone and finally say goodbye to any lingering hopes of ever having sex. I would imagine the wine is best paired with a heaping helping of loneliness.
And a Blu-ray player.
Perfect thing to drink while sewing together your Spock costume and sadly wondering why you're still a virgin. Go on.
But the ears look so authentic. Sarah Palin and Jeb Bush both celebrate birthdays today, which could explain the technological thing, too.
He's 62. She's certifiably insane. Yeah,
and she can see Russia still.
Yeah. There are people who think they'd make an excellent presidential ticket. Those people should be shunned like a rabid dog and definitely not allowed to vote.
Like a ticket you have to pay for? Comes in the mail?
Yeah. Oh, my God. Like, I've never been that person that is like... And first and foremost, I know there are Sarah Palin fans out there. And maybe we can have a discussion about why you think she's so freaking great, and I can tell you why I think she's a dangerous lunatic. But I don't fall to the left or the right. Who's my dream candidate for this upcoming election? It'll never happen. He's jumped the political shark. He's given up. He started doing television commercials for like personal injury law firms. But Rudy Giuliani, if he came back on the Republican ticket, I would be so excited to vote for that guy. How he handled 9/11 in New York City, how he handled New York City before he handled 9/11 in New York City, just a beacon of strength and hope, and someone that takes absolutely no guff and has convictions and sticks by them. And yeah, but you know what? America skewered him. He got skewered because he couldn't make it work with his wife, and his wife and his kids didn't think he was a good husband or a father. And because we want our world leaders to take lots of time off and spend it with their family and be involved with them, he didn't get elected. And he kind of gave up on the whole situation. But that's a guy I'd be very excited to vote for. I would show up gleefully hopping up and down, ready to pull the lever for anyone who is running against Sarah Palin. The idea that she might someday be elected to some sort of office. She's a half-term governor that bailed on it because she wanted to fame whore her children out to reality television shows and try and pimp out books about how Christmas was under attack. This is not someone you want with her finger on anything, let alone the button. But God, the idea of Sarah Palin and Jeb Bush running on a ticket together, which is something that a lot of people are excited about, oh, gee, willikers, it's a scary thought. Go on.
4 in 5 parents don't read a bedtime story to their kids.
Yeah, I don't know. If I ever have kids, whatever I got to do to make it home in time to have dinner with them and then read them a bedtime story, I'll do. I just think that's so important. And so I don't know. Maybe it's just important. Maybe I'm projecting. Maybe my kid won't care. But like the idea of getting read a bedtime story at night, so incredible. And the fact that 4 in 5 parents, 80% of parents in this country don't read a bedtime story to their kids boggles my freaking mind. But, yeah, don't worry, kids. If you want fictitious stories before bed, you can watch NBC Nightly News with Brian Williams. Go on.
NASA debuted a new video showing the dark side of the moon.
You had me at Dark Side of the Moon, replied the nation's population of burnt-out uncles who live in conversion vans. Go on.
Charles Manson's fiancée reportedly wanted to marry him just so she could get possession of his corpse and put it on display.
I knew she only wanted him for his body. Yeah, she wanted to marry him so she could get possession of his corpse. Not to be confused with Larry King's wife, who married the corpse first.
This feels and understand. Starting from here, my head is where I feel numb. From the front of my neck like a pressure valve. And what I need is salvation and a little bit of patience. Oh, with all the love I have, I'm still alone. There's feeling something I would never wish upon anyone. There's feeling something I would never wish upon anyone. Understated side with the feelings that are associated with the sad life that I'm bringing. The tears and the singing. Being alive isn't a gift when there's so much you have missed. And so little ring true with the words to you by the people you trusted. When it all came down to choosing your ideals, developing your fears. Why sports I always blood up like light. Oh, with all the love I have, I'm still alone. There's feeling something I would never wish upon.
Delivering fascinating subjects, interesting talk, and boobs and fart jokes. AD on iHeartRadio.
Yeah, oh, let's go. Talking that mess, better act like you know. Oh, let's go tonight. Walk away, punk, yeah, bitch. That's right, I know this. You're nothing but a punk, bitch. You're nothing but a punk, bitch. So walk away, yeah, yeah. You've been talking about me for a long time.
So, I know that if you're getting your medical advice from Jenny McCarthy, well, actually, if you're getting your medical advice from Jenny McCarthy, maybe you would listen to me. But I don't know how firmly I can state this. I'm not a doctor, but even I know that chicken pox are not the measles. Chicken pox parties are apparently out. Measles parties, where they intentionally expose kids to the virus, are in. I just, man, I hate this grossly unfair generalization, but in this case, it's wildly 100% accurate. So I'm just going to go ahead and use this. White liberals. Yeah. White liberals in the Bay Area that don't want to vaccinate their kids are holding measles parties with those who are infected. Measles parties. The idea is the same as a chickenpox party. You might have had this happen when you were a kid, where one kid on your street gets chickenpox, and, well, because chickenpox is easier to deal with the younger you are, a lot of moms would bring their kids right over and like, here, have a look at their popsicle. Oh, look, my kid has it too. Now it's out of the way. Parents bring their children to these gatherings to get them sick so that they won't have to deal with the virus again. Here's the thing. Measles, not the same thing as chickenpox. Not even close. And by the way, the whole chickenpox party thing, there's a lot of schools that thought that they would say that's wildly outdated and a dangerous thing to do to your kid. But, potato. Let's deal with the fact that you definitely shouldn't be doing it with the measles. Doctors and public health officials are warning parents against these parties, saying, no, stop listening to Jenny McCarthy, stop. The California Department of Public Health put out a statement saying, the California Department of Public Health does not have any information to share about the background or frequency of pox parties, but we strongly recommend against the intentional exposure of children to measles, as it unnecessarily places the exposed children at potentially grave risk and could contribute to further spread of the outbreak. See, measles, unlike chickenpox, which you recover from, maybe you have a couple scars if you itched yourself, measles is a serious illness. It can have significant long-term consequences. It can affect your vital organs if it's not handled. It can result in death if it's not handled. And I think this should be the defining factor in terms of people deciding, hey, we're not going to willfully expose our kids to measles. 30% of people with measles in the current California outbreak have been hospitalized. If you found out that doing something could put your kid in the hospital, there was a 30% chance of that, would you be like, cool, where do I sign him up for that? No, you wouldn't. You can have all the wheatgrass enemas you want. That's your thing. You can do whatever hokey tofu sprout eating diet that floats your particular hippie boat. You can do anything that's weird that you think is healthy for you. You can have as many enemas as you feel like and glow all you want. Have you ever noticed that? People that have coffee enemas, basically anytime you stick something up your butt or you go on a fast, the people that talk about why you should be doing this, oh, you should totally have a green coffee enema. You should absolutely go on the lemon juice maple syrup diet, because afterwards you're basically going to poop your intestines for 8 straight days, and afterwards you glow. You glow. You have this glowy. No, you don't. You look. No. That's cool. Do whatever the hell you want to yourself. Do whatever the hell you want to yourself. And ultimately, they're your kids. So, beyond things like abuse, we can't really interfere with your parenting decisions. We can't. But when you're doing something that affects the health of other people, stop it. Just stop it. Having a party to actively spread measles, the hell are you thinking, you irresponsible, selfish a-holes? Let's talk for a second about a health matter that involves people being a lot more charitable. There is a group, have you heard of them? They're called Hand Angels. Yeah, Hand Angels. Have you heard what the Hand Angels do? You think you're a charitable person? Sign up and do something like this. There's a nonprofit organization. It's in Taiwan. It's called Hand Angels. Their mission is simple. They give sexual favors to severely disabled people. There are 10 volunteers, and they use their hands to pleasure people with conditions like muscular dystrophy and other physical disabilities. They say they do it because disabled people can get all sorts of assistance from the government, but their sexuality is neglected, and they found it does amazing things for people's mental health. You have to apply to get the service, and if you're accepted, you get 3 visits from Hand Angels for sexual stimulation. Patients can be gay or straight, and the volunteers are both men and women, so it sounds like you can choose. A guy named Andy, I don't think they're naming people Andy in Taiwan, but we'll just go with it for the sake of the story. A guy named Andy recently had his first session with Hand Angels and said the service was great. It opened him up emotionally and helped him feel more comfortable interacting with people. He said the whole process was full of respect and equality. This might be deemed as controversial by society, but what we desire is no different from others. Interesting. Do you ever catch the Jim Jeffries television show, Legit? The whole thing is based around a 100% true story of a friend of Jim Jeffries, a childhood friend that he grew up with, who had muscular dystrophy and didn't want to go to his grave not knowing the tender caress of a woman. He worked south of the equator just fine. And apparently was very well equipped, but he was incapable of any sort of manual stimulation, and his dating life, as he was confined to a wheelchair with an oxygen tank, was not a busy one. But he got taken to a brothel, which is apparently totally legal in Australia. He got taken to a brothel, and he was seen to, and it was an act of kindness, and apparently one that, well, this guy will never forget. It made a big, big difference in this guy's life. So, the idea of a group called Hand Angels that gives disabled people sexual favors, would it ever fly in this country? I'm going to go with, probably not. But it does sound like a way to significantly improve someone's life and outlook. I don't know about you, but I lead a busy life. I lead a very busy life. And, I knew it was getting unhealthily busy when I was like, I can't remember the last time I fired off any knuckle children. Used to be a regular occurrence for me, like calisthenics, like aerobics, like, your morning thing that you do. You're constitutional, I think is what they call it. And life's gotten so busy that I absolutely 100% don't remember the last time I had an opportunity to